Hello everyone and welcome back to LOE, League of Europe Formula 2 on a Monday night. I am RJ back once again and I'm joined once again by Old School 3000. Mark, how are we?
I'm really good. I'm looking forward to this. I hate this track in F1 to commentate on because it's a slipstream fest and the F1 downforces just makes it too easy, I think, nowadays. But in these cars, it's a proper challenge. So I'm looking forward to this one. This is, for me, actually better for F2 than F1. So yeah, looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well, and I think the game knows exactly who I want to look at to start with because it's gone straight to the high tech of Nathan as he gets down the first DRS straight.
And he's already put himself into first. Val Fury's having a good effort. I was very impressed with his pace. In another league awards, I think he had a bit of a moment, but he's gone right down the stand. Oh, he's just taking a different line, taking a bit of a cutback line, it seems through there as he's back up for second. But Nathan doing really well. This corner in particular, the difference in this, look, you're having to brake and get around that corner is so different to F1, and again, this section also proving a slightly different challenge, having to brake there, not somewhere you had to brake before, and even here, there's so much more of the car just understeers to death. So he makes a good job of it.
Yeah, as Nathan, well, they all come onto the second DRS straight into Stowe corner now. A couple corners left. Nathan done a fantastic job yet again. Don't want to jinx him with a couple corners to go, but it looks like it might be yet another pole for the man currently leading the championship by some. As Nathan rounds the final corner and he does take pole, but only by 2 tenths, so that's a bit closer than I thought. Pharrell Fury actually fell all the way down to 8th in the end. Don't know what happened in that final sector. But
Nolan fell down as well, and James got above him. Nolan was right up there, right towards the business end of that lap. So not the best finish for him. So that was a disappointment, but yeah, good lineup.
Yeah, I was about to say I was very impressed with Pharrell Fury's qualifying last week in Brazil, and was gonna go even better today. I think he was 5th. No, was he? No, he was in the top 5 last week, but this week something went wrong in the final sector. I don't know what, but he was on for a pretty good lap. But there we have it. Nathan on pole yet again. Campbell second. It's just the lineup you expect at this point. Rocco 3rd and Verstappen 4th. Miami and Tinkan now full time, I think, in the Camposes in 5th and 6th. Larkin 7th. Pharrell Fury 8th. James 9th. And Nolan rounds out the top 10.
Nice. I think, is this a debut for Doplev? It's the first time I've seen him anyway, so it's
I think so.
impressive performance.
I think he's a reserve replacing. If he's in the car lane, I think that would be Lars.
Is there any weather, if anyone is listening? Although we don't seem to have a wealth of listeners at the moment, but it'd be interesting to know if there is any weather.
Yep, as the drivers get ready, I think it's going to start dry at least. You never know around Silverstone, it could just rain at any moment, but it looks like we're going to get a dry start. I think it's hards and softs. Alright, it's the red tyre and the white tyre, whatever they actually are at this point.
So what are they on? They are on. Oh, it's mediums and hards.
Oh, it's the yellow tyre and the white tyre then.
Interestingly, Campbell and Verstappen, obviously they're normally synonymous with each other in F1 of D1 of F1. Which, if you don't know, and you're somehow listening to this at some point, and you're not in the league, which I highly doubt, but it's 6:30 on a Saturday, and it's like this, but faster cars and slightly more competitive grid potentially. But yeah, no, that's an interesting strategy choice from them too. They're obviously in a party together, I'll tell you that for free. And yeah, intriguing from them. My old friend Miami is up in fifth, which is nice to see, and Tin Can as well. Larkin down in seventh, but James out qualifying quite a few big names there. Nolan, Morgan, the ISRL guys, Calvin as well. Calvin has picked up a lot of pace this game, so that's quite a surprising one for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something in the last couple of weeks, but something might have just clicked with James with these cars, because he has found a lot of pace relative to where he was beforehand. Definitely moving, or maybe it's just other guys falling back, but you never know. He has definitely gone further up the order. I think he was 5th or 6th on the grid in Brazil, so he's definitely found something.
Jab saying Nathan is in P1, it's just us around. Well, in the words of Ghostbusters, I don't think any of us are going to be afraid of no ghost today. It's just going to be a straight shootout. I can't see too many people getting lapped, 15 laps. I can't see too much shenanigans on that front, but yeah, I want a bit of karma for Nathan. It's awful as this to say. He's far too clear in this league at the moment. Maybe Campbell and Verstappen are going to be the ones that add it to him if they can stick in a train and not get swamped at the beginning on those halves.
Well, there's only one way to find out. 2 drivers on the hard compound tyres, the rest all on mediums, but most importantly Nathan at the front on the medium tyres as we wait for Ibo and Calvin to get on the grid. There they are. And here we have it then, the 5 red lights appearing now. And away we go for the feature race in Britain. And a good start from Nathan. Actually, a decent start from Campbell to hold on to that P2. Rocco, they all stay in position really well. Miami's gained 1 position on Verstappen. But Campbell holding that position, that could be important off the start as they make their way through... What corners are they? Village? I don't know.
Lots of... Oh, someone was round. I think that's Morgan, yeah. He got kind of clattered. There was about 5 abreast going in there, and it's no one's fault as such. It's just a mess. Very, very compact. The broadcast camera's not delivering too well for me, but if you got on board, I'm going on board at the moment, and it's just chaos. It's just everyone around each other. There's no room to breathe. There's Larkin now and James Head going at it. James up into 8, putting pressure on the number 1 driver.
Yeah, these two have had a few battles, or they've been close to each other quite a few times in the last couple of races. But James, a very decent start, getting it. I think Pharrell Fury dropped back, so his end to qualifying carried over into the start of the race, as Larkin manages to hold off his teammate this time around.
Oh, Nolan with a move into Maggots there, and James kind of backed out. I think he thought, well, I know Nolan's not backing out, as they were going side by side, so Nolan up into 8th. And I have to say, Verstappen doing not the best job in a sense, but Campbell doing a much better job. But he is going to be in trouble because he's already out of DRS.
Yeah, Verstappen was a bit sideways coming out of Stowe, and Tin Can's going to have a look, but he decides better of it. Tin Can is one to watch in this race.
Pharrell Fury getting swamped there, and he loses 2 places as Callie and Jordan are also going at it, and Jordan kind of gives it up as Calvin is round. He tries to avoid the wall, he doesn't manage to avoid the wall. Oh! And it's retired him in a very awkward spot there. It didn't appear like anything fell off. Oh no, his rear wheel fell off. Very unusual. But no safety car, it seems.
Yeah, that's a strange one. If he's hit the inside wall, I assume, and he's lost the rear wheel, that is a strange... Well, yeah, I've never really seen that at this track. But we have B. Morgan now, trying to make a move on Callie. Jordan is losing places. I don't know. He was understeering a little bit, so I don't know if he's got any damage. Doesn't have any visually, but he was losing a lot of time. Well, struggling to stay with these guys. So yeah, B. Morgan now on the back of Callie as they come down towards Cops. He's not going to think about it into there, and they stay as they are for now.
So we have a train already appearing from 2nd through to 8th. James has just fallen out of DRS, but trying to sneak back into it onto Nolan. So this is going to be, I think, in some ways an 8-horse race, with the pack getting a little bit split up in the background now.
And Miami's managing to stick right on the back of Rocco. Rocco can't get quite close to Campbell, even though Campbell's on the hard tyres. Miami right up behind Rocco, and actually Rocco went, well, I don't know if he went slightly defensive there. He definitely turned in a bit earlier. But Nathan sets the fastest levels. We have, I think, Callie off. Yeah, Callie off.
This pace doesn't surprise me from Miami. To be honest, he is a quick guy, but what does surprise me is he's being very conservative behind Rocco. He seems to have the measure of him, but he's giving him a lot of space. But this is working nicely for Verstappen, because he can handle this pace.
Yep, as they come on to the Wellington Straight, I remember the name. Miami not really can't really get close enough because Rocco's still in DRS range of Campbell. But yeah, it does surprise me a little bit how Rocco's not all over the back of Campbell like Miami is to him, as Tin Can's got past Verstappen, and Verstappen's, I think, maybe made a mistake out of the exit of that corner.
Had a bit of a wobble, and talking of wobbles, Tin Can's wobbled over the side of the track 3 times to get a 3-second time penalty.
That's one of the best ones I've heard.
Miami is pushing Rocco, who somehow gets DRS despite being over a second behind, but Miami seems to have the run. He's looking the wrong way. He's desperate to get past. He's going to have a brilliant run out here. He had to lift. Rocco using the Rainbow Road line as Miami makes a big dive, but Rocco goes for the switch. You've got to leave a bit of room on the inside there, Rocco. And I think that's probably the fairest result from that, to be fair, is Nathan is in horrifically early.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, he is. But then the tyres around here do go a very long way, so the undercut, a very early pit stop might be the way to go. Get the tyres up to temperature early, as Rocco's having another go at Miami, and he gets it done. No, they're both going to get dragged into this as Tin Can decides to make his own line through that corner. It didn't really pay off for him.
The Rel strategies are in play. Look, Tin Can might have damage. He's just kind of let loads of people through. His Larkin having a moment there with Miami. But all of the relentless drivers pitted that lap. That seems to be a concerted effort. And this is chaos up here now. They're all following behind Rocco, who is kind of costing them at this point. And Miami pretends to have a look here, doesn't do it. Verstappen is going to get a great run, but they can't really do anything with it here.
Now, I don't know if it was just me, but I'm not sure if Rocco's got the entirety of his front wing. Maybe that was just maybe that was just the angle that when they made contact at the chicane. But it did look like a fairly hefty whack, as Miami's now going to go around the outside. Rocco's not going to give this one up, as he's going to look for the switch back of Miami. Oh, and they're all going to... No, so Miami's going to stay out. Verstappen goes up the inside.
Verstappen can't afford this. This is hurting Verstappen's race at this point, because this is helping Nathan hugely. And it's helping Campbell, of course, because he's also on that strategy. There's a lot of people now putting.
Yeah, this is massively helping Nathan and massively helping Campbell. Campbell was just allowed to do his own race. He did have Rocco within about a second, just around that second. But now 3-second gap to Miami. He's just in a world of his own at the moment. It's him versus Nathan. You would think just to the end now.
And look how much James has closed in on that pack. You know, James isn't as quick as them. And there's no insult to him. It's a cracking pace that those kind of guys set. But he's managed to get quite close to them, albeit just through that battling. So Lord knows how much that's helped someone in clean air with the pace of Nathan.
Yep, as Verstappen's still on the back of Miami, so like these three kind of settled down a little bit for now. But whether it all kicks off again when they get to the DRS straight, as they are about to now. And Verstappen, not the greatest exit, but he is still... Well, actually, no, I think he's probably more of a threat behind him. Larkin in the DRS as well, but they're probably going to stay in position this time around.
That was an accidental touch there. That wasn't a dive from Larkin. I think Verstappen just broke far too early, and they will come in. Larkin was just playing a sensible game. He just wanted to get. There's no point overtaking. There's no point battling. He's not actually battling people around him there. You've kind of got to work together.
Yeah.
You see Nathan. He's going to come out miles. I mean, look how much clearer he is of Rocco as an example. I suspect, like you said, had damage, but he gets a pen though. That's a wrinkle.
Yeah, but I don't know the situation of Campbell, but no penalty as of yet. And obviously Campbell's going to go long into this race and have the mediums at the end, so he's going to be pushing right towards the end of this race, and we'll find out if Rocco had damage. I think he did have damage because he's going to come out about 5-6 seconds behind these guys when he was in front. So that hit at the chicane between him and Miami might have been worse than. Well, he visually wanted to pit as Tin Can's come out right behind Miami. Well, no, actually, Tin Can's driven through. Miami's come out just ahead of him. So splitting the two that were battling before.
Eisen's done incredibly well to be up where he is. That undercut's really helped him because he's onto the back of Nolan. So James picks up a 3-second penalty. The James Foley will not be happy there. There is an SC now, and only now, it would help James darken it, but
I think it would also massively benefit those top two because how early these guys have pitted, yes, like they have pitted very early, but the mediums could go that distance when you're looking at 8 laps as James makes his way into the pits on the medium compound tyres, as does Dark, and I think Ivo will probably be in it as well. And Nathan's going to get back onto the podium.
He swept around the outside. Ivo didn't look like he actually wanted to give him too much time there. Maybe Ivo watched the D1 stream and didn't approve. But one of them where he definitely battled as Miami is all over the back of his teammate. And Larkin, this is a great little train. It's helping Nolan. Because Nolan's a bit cut adrift. He wants these 3 to battle to get back into that slipstream and DRS situation.
This is interesting because Tin Can actually just got past Miami, so these two are going to be. I don't know if they're talking to each other. I would assume so. Yeah, whether they're actually racing each other or that was a team thing. It was probably.
I think all 3 of these might be working as a bit of a team, not to extents we've seen in other places, but I feel like they probably realise that there's a wider battle at hand with the 2 guys ahead, which is Verstappen and Campbell.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to just work together, just be a bit of a peloton, the cycling reference there, and just not tread on each other too much and wreck each other's chances. Also, they've got Nolan behind. And they're probably all thinking, let's keep this guy out of DRS, let's drop him, and then we can fight over the bones after that's all said and done, which would probably be the sensible thing. And knowing the 3 people here, if there's anyone that's mentally capable of being sensible in this league, these 3 are probably up there. They're wily veterans. I can see them doing it, to be honest.
I think the track limits of Tin Can suggest otherwise on that point, but I completely get what you're saying. As they are. I think Tin Can didn't put up much of a fight, and Miami goes back through into 4th position. I do just want to touch on the lead 2. Probably going to see a pit stop in the next 2-3 laps, and I think as it stands, they'd probably come out ahead of this battle. So. Well, Campbell definitely would. It's going to be touch and go with Verstappen. You're looking at about 32 seconds for Verstappen. 36 should be comfortable for Campbell to get out ahead of these guys. But that really would help Campbell try and close down Nathan at the end of this race.
Great debut from Dope Lev. Standing in a really good place here. He's a net 8th. Looking really, really positive. So a nice addition to the league. He seems like he's got his head screwed on as well was Larkin now. I think Larkin is getting a bit frustrated behind Tinkan. I think he could go quicker. I think if Larkin was leading this train, it actually probably would help all three of them.
Yeah, Miami definitely had the pace of the 3 on the mediums, but on the hards, I don't know. He is starting to pull a little bit of a gap, but maybe that's just because he has the clean air. They're all probably going to bunch back up together as they get down the straight.
Watch this gap. It's 1.45 to Nolan, and it will just go out and out and out and out. And it just gives him no chance. It must be so frustrating being Nolan in that car at the moment. Yeah, he's lost instantly 4 attempts.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happens in F1. You just can't do anything once you lose the DRS unless someone makes a mistake or battles really hard. You just can't get involved, and that's the situation for quite a lot of these guys now further down the field.
Rocco, see, this is a man you expect to come through the field, and he's going to have a very interesting battle with Morgan. 2 West Ham fans, used to having scraps normally on a Saturday at 4:55 p.m. or so. See how they get on with each other. This is always going to be a tasty one. I can see Rocco definitely sending it into this next corner. He's not going to want to hang around.
Yeah, but as he must have definitely had damage. He lost so much time in that pit stop, but he can't get anywhere near being walking down the straights. Obviously, all these cars running the same setup, so no straight line speed advantage for any of these cars. But even with the DRS, he just can't get anywhere near being walking down that straight.
They're not in yet. So if Campbell hasn't gone in yet, I wouldn't expect Verstappen. No. So they're obviously going to go next lap. That's my prediction. Look at this little peloton. They've pulled out to 2.3 on poor old Nolan. Nothing he can do. It's purely on that DRS pace. And they're just working sensibly together, and I really like it, because this is, regardless of the fact they're in the same team, this is what you should be doing in these spots. There's no point fighting halfway through a race, just damaging all of your races. Just get there and then pick out the bones after. Rocco does get past Morgan. Quite a simple pass in the end. Nathan's just pumping in faster slap after faster slap. He's actually gained, I think, somewhere about 4 seconds on Campbell. So since he's come back out, it'll be really tough for Campbell to catch him, I feel. But he does have that 3-second time penalty, which thankfully keeps it interesting for us.
Yeah, but Campbell's pace hasn't. Yeah, he is catching Campbell, but you'd expect that on fresh tyres. But Campbell's pace hasn't dropped off too much. The person who has dropped off in the last couple of laps, Verstappen's pace is just, I don't know. He's just gained about 3 seconds in a sector there, Nathan. We're watching that time go down from 21 to 18, so he must have, you would think, made a mistake somewhere. But yeah, Verstappen's just falling away from Campbell on this lap especially.
Yeah, it's a very kind of tough moment when you're on these tyres for so long, but maybe Verstappen should have appeared the lap earlier. Almost certain he's okay. Oh, is that a puncture? No, he just completely lost the rear of the car. He's in big trouble. He's really in big trouble. I don't know why he didn't pit.
These guys are both
praying for an SC.
Yeah, they're both leaving it very late as Nathan picks up another penalty, which makes it, yeah, that is going to be very annoying for him. 6 seconds now. But I don't know why these guys haven't pitted yet. They're leaving him very late, especially Campbell. I mean, he's got 25 seconds, but you think when he comes out of the pits, he's still going to have 7-8 to make it. Well, with the penalties, it makes it a lot easier. But he's just losing the gap that he could have come out into with the Camposes and Larkin, trying to get ahead of them. Yeah, it's a strange one. Only 4 laps to the end now.
Well, the gloves are going to be off fairly soon for the battle for fourth, because they've dropped Nolan. He's got a time pen. I can imagine Larkin actually starting to make some moves now and try and get past Tin Can.
Yeah, and I think they might get joined, potentially, at the end of this race, by the current second place man, who I do think is just going to come out somewhere between Larkin and potentially James. Whether it's ahead of Nolan or not. Yeah, as we do. We do have Campbell in the pits. Is Verstappen going to follow him? No, Verstappen stays out.
He's just looking for the safety car.
Right. So here we are. Campbell should rejoin between Nathan and Miami. So
just a massive shout out to Doblev, who is currently sat in the golden seat.
Oh.
Currently sat in 8th place provisionally, so he might find himself on net and then pole position as Larkin. Very unlike Larkin picks up a time pen, and that probably actually crystallises it because Miami's not got a pen. Tin Can's got lots. And yeah, Verstappen's got a world to make up, hasn't he? He's got about, I would say, 6 seconds when it's all said and done.
Well, here we are. Campbell has come out about just under 6 seconds, 5.5 seconds ahead, and Verstappen was nearly 8 seconds behind him. So Verstappen's gonna come out somewhere between Larkin and James, whether he's gonna be near Nolan. So. And he has to pit, so yeah, he's going to lose a lot of time when he finally does.
Verstappen should have pitted earlier rather than late. I get what he's doing because if there's an SC, but he actually would have probably come out ahead of a few places ahead and might have been able to track down Nathan on those 6 seconds. Whereas, I tell you what, Campbell isn't gaining.
Yeah, he's got the cold tyres, hasn't he? So
he does, but he should be fine. But
I think he's got very lucky with that strategy call because he's got very lucky with Nathan having penalties, because if you just take away the penalties, there's no chance he catches him. I just don't think there's any chance he catches him with 3-4 laps to do it. Kind of maybe he took the penalties. Maybe the penalties were part of his decision to stay out longer. But fair play if that's the case.
Campbell in a absolutely golden spot here to win this race. James gets another pen. That's really going to impact his ability to stand on 8th place. That dream's over now, basically. Yeah, Verstappen is going to come out if he's not careful. Ooh, he gets just ahead of Nolan, and he needs to defend this for his life because, like you said, cold tyres, but they will switch on. If Nolan's actually got any sense, he'll probably stick in behind and try and just get dragged along with him.
Yeah, but as they come down the straight now, is Nolan going to stick behind? I don't think he's going to have enough to overtake anyway, so he has to stick behind.
Yeah.
And that
was clever racing.
Yeah.
That was clever. He could have. Nolan sometimes would go for a dive there, 100%. He also knows that he's on for a nice position in the second race, so I think that might have had something to do with it. But genuinely, Campbell is not. I mean, he's gained a 10th, so this is squeaky. He's going to have to clutch it still.
Yeah. Campbell's pace hasn't been great since he came out of the pits. Maybe it was just something with those mediums. Maybe the mediums just don't work as well as the hards, which is a very strange thing to say. But yeah, maybe that is the case. But yeah, speaking about Nolan on for a very nice, very nice P2 if on the grid if he holds this. You're looking at Doblev getting onto reverse grid pole as it stands without the penalties. So that would be a very good debut race, getting into reverse grid.
Bit of team orders going on there, maybe. When I say team orders, I mean esports team orders, because here's a funny thing. If Larkin sits behind that train whilst Verstappen's approaching, he loses the place. If Tin Can battles Verstappen, there's a chance Larkin can get 3 seconds away. So, you wonder.
Now this is interesting. Tin Can, as it stands, will drop to 12th. Actually, maybe he sneaks 10th, but he will drop out the reverse grid. with the penalties.
Does that might promote? Maybe could it promote Rocco? It could. It's a close fight between Rocco and Morgan. Morgan actually is in a very good spot, and maybe James Head.
Well, someone well, yeah, we're looking
it's
at
one of those. It's James Morgan, or it's probably James or Morgan actually. And Dope Lev is going to get promoted to 7th.
Yeah, and looking at it actually now, B Morgan is about 4.5 seconds behind James, so it is touch and go. And that B Morgan's slightly outside the window. Well, actually, no, he's slightly inside the 12 seconds of Tin Can, so this is going to be interesting on the final lap as Nathan sets the fastest lap again. He has just got the measure at the moment of Campbell.
What's interesting is Morgan has to stay in his DRS on Rocco.
Ooh.
It just has to happen as Stafford says the fastest lap for all it's worth. It's too little too late, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah.
I think he should have gone in a couple of laps a bit earlier, and he might have found himself in a slightly different spot, but he probably will pick up 4th.
Yeah, as I said, Nathan went for the fastest lap. Campbell instantly beat that, and then Verstappen beat that by 6 thousandths of a second.
Which isn't that much considering Verstappen's got DRS and Campbell does not, so this is tight. I mean, it's just one incident away, and these F2 cars, you know better than me, are squirrely. You can lose it and lose a chunk of the time, so Campbell has to clutch this still.
Yeah, he does, as Eisen picks up another penalty. He's on 15 seconds, which is... I didn't think someone would beat Tin Can for penalties in this race. But they've managed it. Unless Tin Can, he picks up a penalty, we have a couple of corners to go, as he well could.
That's right on the back of this now. Not going to do anything with it. It's got no incentive to overtake, really. It can only go wrong for him. And he will be starting in a nice place, but it's looking like Cam was going to win this race unless he has an awful last sector. Yeah, he's taking it lovely.
And then we go, Nathan gets the fastest lap on the line. Is someone going to beat that? James has just lost a position, but Campbell does win the race by just under 4 tenths of a second, as Miami is going to get another podium. Verstappen takes the fastest lap point on the final lap, finishes 4th in the end, so bit of a recovery.
Rocco somehow... Oh yeah, Morgan got it. Morgan got it by half a second.
Yeah. Tin Can, so many penalties, drops out of reverse grid, and B Morgan actually will now start on reverse grid pole. He had that spin at the start, so that's actually a really good recovery from B Morgan to get back in the top 8. Dope Lev, good debut, finishes 7th on reverse grid front row as well, and the rest of the top six really very solid. They were up there pretty much the whole race.
It's that is quite a nice little grid. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this grid develops, because I think Nolan got, frankly, very unlucky just being outside of that DRS train, and it kind of broke his spirit in the end, but he'll come back strong, I think. I'm just going to be back in literally 2 seconds, and then I'll let you wrap up.
Yep, and there we go. Campbell wins again. He's had quite a few wins this season, but the gap is still fairly big in the championship. Nathan taking pole, obviously. Verstappen taking the fastest lap off him, which is good. But there's still a lot of work to do for Campbell to close that gap up with only 2 rounds after this. But yeah, he wins from Nathan, and Miami, another podium. I'm trying to work out how many podiums he's had this year. Let me go to Miami. Oh no, Miami has only finished 3rd once on his first race of the season in Portimao, but he finishes 3rd again in the feature race in Britain. So there we have it. Campbell wins on penalties from Nathan. Miami, Jesus, sorry. Miami finishes third with Verstappen fourth, Larkin fifth, Nolan sixth, Dope Lev seventh, and B Morgan eighth. And obviously, you reverse the top eight for the sprint race. So B Morgan will be on pole. Tin Can misses out with those 12 seconds of penalties in ninth place. Rocco 10th, James 11th, Eisen 12th, Dark 13th. Pharrell Fury 14th, and I want to say that was Jordan 15th for wrapping up the points. I'll be very interested to see for this race what Rocco and Tin Can do coming through from 9th and 10th. They are slightly out of place. Obviously, after front wing damage for Rocco and the penalties for Tin Can. So they've got some progress to make, and we have Sunshine at Silverstone for once. As the drivers are on the grid, I'd expect most of them to be on the hards. The mediums clearly didn't work in the first race, and whether they can go the distance, whether they can go 11 laps, which I don't think they can. But we'll find out what tyres they're on now. Yeah, everyone except from Ibo. Ibo's made a tradition of doing this at this point. He's on the mediums, but everyone else on the hard compound tyres. So there we have it. B Morgan starts on pole position with Dope Lev Debutant stepping in for Lars in the Carlin, and he will line up on the front row. So that'll be a very interesting start. See what these guys can do if they can hold on to those positions off the start.
What a grid this is. Looking forward to this. This is going to be fun as hell.
Yeah, I said it before. I don't know if you quite heard it, but I'm very interested to see what Tin Can and Rocco can do. They are slightly out of place with the wing damage for Rocco and the penalties for Tin Can, so whether they can climb back through will be interesting.
Let's do something different. Let's do biggest climber and biggest faller.
Ooh.
I will start. I will say biggest climber will be... I'm going to say Rocco. I'm going to say biggest faller will be QVR Verstappen.
That's weird. I was going to also go for Verstappen for biggest faller. Sorry, Verstappen. But I was going to go with Pharrell Fury for the biggest gainer. Because he clearly has the pace, he just hasn't put it all together so far.
Come on, you got to pick a different biggest faller, quick. Quick.
A different what?
Biggest faller.
Different
quick.
faller. Nathan.
No, I like that. It's good.
Makes it more interesting. And I've had complete confirmation in the chat as well. There we go. 5 red lights are on for the sprint race, and away we go. That was very short lights and a very decent start from the front row. B Morgan, good start. They're going to be side by side. Nolan and oh, there we go. Dope Lev is around.
Oh no, there's chaos. There's absolute carnage.
And I think Campbell's been
there's
caught
wings
up in
everywhere.
that. Yeah,
There's
Campbell.
wings everywhere.
Campbell is without a front wing, and the one person who has actually survived that, actually Verstappen, Nathan, all survived that, but Campbell's been completely messed up by that. And yeah, that.
Pharrell Fury is on 6th places, may I just say, and Verstappen is also doing well, so it's put paid to some of our predictions.
Oh!
And Pharrell, as soon as I say that, Pharrell Fury gets caught up in a massive incident, not given much space, and he rejoins in 15th, so awful news.
Yeah, I am very surprised of the lack of a safety car or of some form in that first corner. A lot of damage. Normally they bring out a VSC or something for that. As Calvin actually goes gets a move done into Maggots there. Very good move from him. But yeah, Nathan up a lot of positions, as is Verstappen. So we didn't do very well on that one to start with. But Rocco good start as well.
Yeah, Nathan looking all over the back of Verstappen as well. But yeah, I didn't want to say Doblev. I avoided that since it was his debut, but that was such an unfortunate incident. He just kind of got. I don't know what happened with him and Nolan, but he come off worse anyway. So it was an awful luck for him.
Yeah, as the biggest gainer so far is actually Calvin. As Campbell was retired. Wow. That is.
I guess he must have full damage and all sorts.
Well, that's after the win in the last race, bringing the championship closer by a little bit. All the hard work's been undone by something he couldn't control really, and Nathan's going to take another step towards the title, you would think, without incident.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Rocco having a great start. So my pick's doing better than yours, but you're doing worse than me as well because Nathan's got more places than Verstappen. So I'm winning so far, but there's a long way to go.
So competitive. As they come through Maggots and Beckett's now. B. Morgan still in the lead of this race from Nolan. Nolan goes very wide into Chapel. And Verstappen's all over the back of him. They haven't got a DRS yet, still on lap 2. But Nolan does have the slipstream. Whether that's enough to keep him ahead, as Verstappen is going to have a look, but he can't get anything done, and Nolan holds on to that position for now.
I'm surprised that Verstappen didn't dive it in a sense of not trying to overtake, but just getting Nolan out of that slipstream with Morgan. Or maybe he wants him to stay in it, so to keep in touch with him. I don't know, but there's two schools of thought there.
Yeah,
his eyes are very wide.
Yeah, as for Fury picks up a penalty, didn't do very well with that pick. Every time I say his name recently, something happens. Did it on Wednesday, picked him to win the race in Endure, and that one didn't go too well. But yeah, I need to stop saying his name. But here we are, down the straight again. They do have DRS this time around, and this is going to really help Nolan to just fend off from cars behind. Nolan's no slouch, but compared to Verstappen and Nathan, two of the quickest, definitely two of the 3-4 quickest guys in F2, then he needs some sort of assistance to keep him ahead, and he's got it in the form of B. Morgan. But Verstappen's all over the back of him. He has a look. Surely there's not going to be no move around the outside on the entrance to Maggots, and there isn't, so he stays behind for now.
Nathan's loving this. Yes, he hung back by about 4 or 5 tenths, and got a bit unlucky there with Verstappen getting so far out of shape. Nolan, I feel like he has to get past Morgan. He has to get away, and because it's close. He's pushing Morgan around the corner. Morgan must be loving this.
Oh!
He knows him. Ooh.
So Rocco and Larkin just had a big collision. And it was Rocco's front wing to rear tyre on Larkin, and it was very similar to the impact of that Rocco had in the first race.
What is this? This is incredible. And Rocco gives it up.
I don't know if Rocco might have picked up damage again. It was a similar sort of incident with the pace he went into him, and he's look, got it all wrong into there.
Oh, okay, that was very clever actually. Fair play. I thought that was going to be messy, but that was actually very, very clever.
And I think he has got damage.
Yeah, there was no easy way to do that. Fair play to him. That's really sensible and actually really nice of him, because he could have caused carnage behind.
Yeah, you avoided that very well. I just had visions of 3 or 4 cars, but he does very well to avoid that. And yeah, he's letting everyone through. He's definitely got damage. So it's unlucky for Rocco. It's very similar to what happened to him in the first race. Just the turn in.
Doklev, Rocco, and Farrell Fury are taking it to the absolute streets back there. No love lost between any of the teammates, but this battle at the front is pivotal. Nathan's got an incredible run on Verstappen, who's got an incredible run on Nolan, who's got DRS on Morgan. This could be awful.
Nathan's in a difficult situation here because he's kind of boxed in, unless he can go all the way around the outside, which I don't think he can. So they're just holding right now because not much can do. Nathan tries around the outside. He's not going to get that done as we have Ibo off at Stowe. But then look at these three as Nathan. That gets on my nerves a little bit. I'm not going to lie. When you drive further off track to avoid the warning, but it's done. But there we go. Nathan makes his move on Verstappen, does he? Gets all on the curb. Verstappen's going to have a better run, you would think, but they're going to be side by side down the straight, and Nathan actually manages to squeeze him out up into third position.
Only Morgan could be. This is such a perfect storm. He is so outmatched here. It's outrageous. But perfect storm might have been finished now because I think Nathan's going to make light work of Nolan. I think it went in pace order from fourth through to first, if I'm honest.
Yeah, as we have Nathan getting a good run out of Luffield, but you don't really want a good run out of Luffield unless you're side by side, and Nathan has to get back into the line, into the queue behind Nolan, and Nolan's actually a lot closer to B Morgan this time around. So, can he do anything against B Morgan as we have more yellow flags? That was, I think, dark off as Nolan's going to get that move done up the inside of Stowe Corner and into the lead of this race on lap 5.
Morgan playing it sensible there. Can't really. It's hard to dive in these cars. As he gets squirrely, he gets dragged out wide, and that could be it. I think Nathan might not back there. He does back out of it. That surprises me.
Yeah, the longer these two can stay first and second, the harder it becomes for Nathan to do anything. As Nathan gets up the inside, there's contact. And you just feel like B Morgan's not going to back out of it as Nathan gets sideways and Verstappen gets through. So this is interesting. Is B Morgan's now a second behind Nolan?
See, Nolan is quick enough. He's not as slow as Morgan on pace. So he could, with the right battling, actually get away. So this is crucial.
Virtual safety
Nathan
car.
Oh.
Rocco has crashed at the exit of Chapel. And I was like, if they were in the final sector, they might have got away with that, but they were probably going to come up to that car. You don't want anyone going off, well, even if it's ghosted, to going off in the same area. So VSC out, which kind of neutralises everything.
If you're Nolan, this is the ideal configuration that you want looking behind. Morgan out of DRS, as it is just enabled. Verstappen is going to get the run. Ooh, but I tell you what, Nolan was caught napping hugely, and he's lost it. That might be what loses in this race, because Verstappen gets past Morgan. Nolan takes the Mario Kart line. Oh, and I tell you what, Nolan might have had a massive touch here as Nathan picks up a pen, goes into the back of Verstappen, gives him a bit of a bump draft. Nolan might have just come up trumps there. He's lucky because he was sleeping in the virtual safety restart there.
I think it might be. I don't know if he's just genuinely been sleeping on the end of the virtual safety car, but it's in the pits, so we won't get a safety car for that one. But I don't know if he was sleeping on the end of the safety car or he was being tactical about it. And the thing I said about them two being B Morgan and Nolan being first and second helps them try and hold off the rest because you get the DRS. Maybe that came into play. I don't know.
Maybe. You shouldn't have said that because he's definitely going to claim that now. He'll watch this back and regardless of the truth, he will 100%
Nolan,
claim
you can
it.
thank me
No,
later.
But, so I'll tell you what, the train goes all the way back to Larkin. It is a 6-car train now.
And then yeah, a 6.5 second gap back from that from this train to Calvin, but Calvin up 11 places, so very good race from him. 11, that is a lot. On the back of the grid.
That is a lot. He's doing very, very well. Rocco, unfortunately, my pick, not.
Always.
Nathan.
He's not going to get that
He's
done.
desperate to get past Verstappen. Oh, this is not a too wide corner. Fair play. Verstappen a little bit arms out. And I tell you what, look, they've lost it. They've lost DRS. Battling has made it. QVR versus Rel battle at the front, but not as you would think. Oh, this is so close, and I think Verstappen's just going to get it, but he's not going to have DRS.
Who was ahead? This could be very interesting.
You probably wanted to back out there.
Yeah.
But Nathan's going to... This is tough to make it happen. Verstappen gave him loads of space. In turn, they've given each other loads of space. This is really good battling. Nathan does get through, so he's got a mission now.
Yeah, as they come down the old start-finish straight, Verstappen behind Nathan, but actually the same corner. Those two are battling turn 3 and 4. Larkin managed to get round the outside of Tinkan, so they switched places in the train. But they're all still there. None of them have departed yet. The station hasn't arrived. They haven't got to their station. And Verstappen's going to have a go.
All Morgan has to do is just keep in this second and keep the pressure on Nolan, because Nolan has 2 warnings. Morgan has 1. So if he can just keep Nolan honest and having to find the edges and find the margins, if he oversteps them one more time, Morgan wins this race.
Definitely, and Nathan has to get a move on. Now that he's lost the DRS, which is massive because of his penalty, which will currently put him down to 5th, because Tinkan has just picked up a penalty himself. Well, actually, Tinkan's on 9 seconds of penalty, so it wouldn't have made a difference anyway.
Verstappen isn't going to get him here, but you think you've got to go for it, because Nathan if Nathan can catch them enough, then and he gets in that DRS, then that makes Verstappen's life incredibly tough.
And it's just broken inside that. Yeah, it's just broken inside that second window. As B Morgan's actually dropped back outside of a second himself, so this could get very interesting with 2 and a bit laps to go. Verstappen still tucked it right behind Nathan.
If I'm Morgan here, I'm probably going to let Nathan go. Because then he can drag me along. And hopefully it puts pressure on Nolan.
Yeah, as Nathan couldn't do anything into Stowe, and actually Nolan's not that far away, so they might get back. He might get back within a second as Calvin picks up his 3rd penalty. Is 9 seconds now. If B Morgan picks up a penalty, that is huge in the context of the win. I think did Nathan do the fastest lap then as well?
I think he did. And now this even brings someone like Larkin into it.
Oh,
because if
there was contact there.
Morgan. Oh no, he just got swiped, and Verstappen got swiped, and Nathan has gone wide. So as I say, oh gosh, this actually brings, as I was saying, it brings Larkin in the chance for a win. If Nolan gets that pen, He's now no. It's actually now Larkin that's the beneficiary. As Verstappen went, oh, that's awful for them two. They get both swiped away.
Yeah, I don't quite know what happened to B Morgan, but whatever happened to him affected Verstappen as well. There was contact between from Nathan to B Morgan in turn 4, and I was just wondering whether that caused anything front wing wise or anything like that. Rear wing damage could have happened to B Morgan, and that might have explained something, but I'd never know with the consistency of damage on this game.
James all over the back of Miami here. Can't quite get it done. Oh, we've got Nolan. Got all sorts happening out here. People flying up, not Nolan, apologies. But Nolan is. I mean, he's on for the win. The only thing that can really stop him is Larkin. You would have to say. If he gets another pen, he just has to drive around the track. But might as well let Nathan through. Just don't go off and win this race.
Yeah, and it could be very interesting for Nolan. Nolan's had 2 podiums this season, back to back. The sprint race he had at Portimao, he had a 3rd place. Oh, as they get very close through Luffield, and he had 2nd place in the feature at Monza. That was very close. Very
See,
close.
Nathan wanted. I can understand why Nathan was doing it, to try and put him off. No, if you put him off and he bins it, then all of a sudden the race wins back. Well, 2nd place is back on anyway, because he'll give it to Larkin. But Nolan just needs to, I bet he takes this so softly. Look how softly he's taking this. Fair play. This is match play stuff. Intelligent stuff. And yeah, there's no way he's picking up a warning. He's doing anything he can. He lost about a second, nearly 6/10 of a second there. And clever driving. Really clever driving.
Whereas
Look how soft he's gone through here.
They come through. As Nathan picks up another penalty, it shouldn't cost him too much, or if anything at all. But as they come through the chicane for the final time, Nolan is going to win his 1st race of the season.
Well, Larkin got a time pen, but because Nathan got one as well, he actually comes 2nd as Verstappen somehow still comes 4th, but Morgan 5th. Oh, don't Lev.
Wow. So he was the lowest one without a penalty, and I think he crossed the line in 11th, or 10th. So he's jumped all the way up to 5th, because Tinkan had 12 seconds and Calvin had 12 seconds.
It doesn't look that impressive saying that he lost 3 places, but obviously what happened to him off the start, absolutely fair play. Driver of the day for me by a mile.
Here we have an interesting one. Sir Ibo, 15th place, going to pick up a point. But he's come through with 3 wheels on his wagon.
He started on mediums.
Well, he did do that, but he was going very slowly for the last couple of laps, so he picked up a puncture, clearly. And he does finish the race he does pick up a point. Which is the most, I think that might be the most Ibo thing possible. Have 3 wheels and still do well. Well, still pick up points.
That was very enjoyable. There was chaos, there was madness, there was F2.
Yeah, there we go. So, big incident on the 1st lap. Campbell out of the race as it got going, really, and Nathan picks up the driver of the day. I don't know. I tend to give that to Nolan, to be honest. Did put a foot wrong, really.
Yeah, I mean, you give it to Nolan, I'll give it to the Doblev, because to get spam 1st lap.
True.
We'll call it an equal draw.
Yeah, but there we have it, everyone. Nolan, a winner this season. In as a reserve, which is quite good in itself. But there we have it. Nolan wins, representing the whole world. So I think we can all applaud that. Larkin finishes second with Nathan third in the end. Kind of got away with it with some of the other incidents. Got a bit fortunate with the Verstappen and B Morgan incidents, but there we have it. There we have it anyway. Nathan has done the fastest lap, but the purple thing says Verstappen, so who knows? Verstappen finishes fourth. Doplev in fifth. Very good recovery drive to get back up there. B Morgan sixth. Miami seventh. James in eighth. Cali ninth. Tinkan in the end drops down to 10th. Eisen's 11th. Calvin in 12th. Pharrell Fury 13th. Jordan 14th. Ibo 15th. And then the non-finishers, Dark, Rocco, and Campbell.
Felt for Morgan there. He lost it under traction, I think, and actually he went into Nathan, and then I think collected Verstappen, which is and he tried to control it. I think that was kind of his own. I'd say his own fault. It was just unfortunate, but that was fun. I like that.
Yeah. For Silverstone on the F1 game, those were two very good races, so can't complain whatsoever.
No, absolutely, and yeah, it was nice to see someone from Relentless pick up a win that was really clean. I really enjoyed that. That was lovely. But yeah, I might be able to join you next week, hopefully, if there isn't 21 drivers.
Hopefully.
What is next week? I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Well, good thing you asked, because I was about to say it anyway. Next week we go to everyone's favourite circuit for F2. We're in the streets, on the shores of the Caspian Sea, in
My geography's
Baku,
good, so I know that.
Azerbaijan.
There we go. I'm looking forward to see these absolute mentalists take the castle steps.
Well, they struggled to finish round Silverstone. They'll have a great time next week. But yeah, there we have it. F2 done for yet another week. Nathan yet another step closer to the championship. I think he's probably around 80 points ahead with 2 rounds to go. So he's probably only about... He could probably clinch it in the feature race in Baku. But there we have it. 2 quality races today. Me and Mark have definitely enjoyed these. And until next week, guys, we will back for Baku.